Hello, it's good to have you here once again. You're welcome. Last time we talked about how to choose a career, but today let's look at the five biggest mistakes most students make so that you don't fall into the same traps. Now, imagine this, you have just finished high school, or maybe you are halfway through the university. Everyone around you keeps asking you the same question. So, what do you want to do with your life? And suddenly, it feels like you are standing at crossroads with 100 different roads in front of you. Some look exciting, some look scary, and some just look confusing. But here's the problem, many students take the wrong route, not because they are lazy or not smart, but because they make certain mistakes while choosing their career. And those mistakes can cause them years of regret, frustration, and even wasted money. That's why in this video, I'm going to share with you the five biggest mistakes students make when choosing a career path, and most importantly, how you can avoid them. Trust me, this is not just theory. These are mistakes I've seen again and again in real life. Some of you watching this might even recognize yourself in these examples. Before we dive in, let me ask a favor. If you care about your future, you want to have or you want to make smart choices that set you up for success, do me a favor, hit the like button right now. Subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. You never know whose future you might see by simply sharing. And of course, leave a comment at the end because I would love to hear your own experiences and thoughts on this. All right, let us get started. The first mistake students make is choosing a career only because of money. Let's be honest, money matters. We all want a comfortable life, but let me ask you, have you ever met someone who earns a lot of money but looks miserable every single day? I have. Let me give you an example. I once met a guy who studied law. Why? Because everyone said lawyers make good money. But deep inside, he didn't enjoy reading long cases, memorizing laws, or standing in courts. He dragged himself through school, graduated, and yes, he got a job. But a few years later, he was so unhappy that he quit law completely and started a small business instead. Now, imagine how many years he wasted chasing money in a field he didn't love. I've also seen the opposite. A young lady I know studied fashion design because she genuinely loved creating clothes. At first, people laughed at her. How much money can you make sewing clothes? They said. But she stuck with it. Today, she runs her own fashion brand and earns more money than even doctors. So you see, money is important, but if that's only the reason you are choosing a career, you might end up stuck in something you hate. The smart approach is to find something you enjoy that also has room for financial growth. Okay. The second mistake is choosing a career because of pressure from family or friends. Maybe your dad wants you to be a doctor because he dreamed of it but never became one, or your mom insists you study accounting because she thinks it's safe, or all your friends are applying for engineering, so you just follow along. But here's the truth, you are the one who will live with that decision, not them. Let me give you a story. I know someone whose parents forced her into medicine. She passed her exams, got into medical school, but she was miserable. She loved arts, painting, and design, but she was told artists don't make money. Medicine is secure. She pushed herself through years, but eventually she dropped out in her final year because she just couldn't take it anymore. That's almost 7 years wasted because she lived someone else's dream instead of her own. Now, don't get me wrong, listening to advice from family or mentors is good. They often see things we don't see, but at the end of the day, your career should be your choice. Okay? Imagine wearing shoes that don't fit. No matter how nice they look, you will always feel pains. That's what living someone else's career feels like. The third mistake is ignoring your strengths and skills. Every single person has something they naturally are good at. Some people are great at solving puzzles, others are good at explaining things. Some have a talent for organizing, while others are creative thinkers. But many students don't pay attention to this. They choose careers that don't match their strengths. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a student who struggles with maths but chooses to study engineering because people say engineers are respected. Every exam becomes a nightmare. Every project feels like punishment. That student will spend years stressed out and probably never enjoy the career. Meanwhile, maybe that same student is fantastic at communication and they could have become a journalist, a lawyer, or a public relations expert. Here's another real world case. I once met a student who loved helping people solve personal problems. Friends always came to her for advice. She thought it was just a normal thing. But that strength actually pointed towards careers like counseling, psychology, or even coaching. When she finally recognized it, she changed her major, and today she works as a professional counselor, doing what comes naturally to her. The truth is, your strengths are like arrows pointing towards the right path. Ignoring them is like closing your eyes while trying to drive a car. Of course, you will definitely crash. The fourth mistake is choosing a career without doing proper research. This one is very common. Many students hear a fancy name like architecture or pharmacy and think, wow, that sounds good. I'll go for it. But they have no idea what the day to day work looks like. Take architecture for example. A student may imagine that it's all about drawing beautiful buildings, but in reality, it involves long hours of technical drawing, design software, math, and late night projects. Or take pharmacy. People think it's just standing in front of a shop and giving out drugs, but in reality, pharmacists spend years studying chemistry, biology, pharmaceutical care, and even working in hospitals. Without research, you might choose something that looks attractive from the outside but doesn't match your personality or interest at all. So how do you avoid this? Talk to people already working in this field, okay? Ask them, what's your typical day like? What do you love about your job? What's your hardest part? Watch interviews, read articles, even shadow someone for a day if possible. The more you know, the better your decision will be. And finally, mistake number 5, believing that your first career choice is permanent. So many students are scared to decide because they think, what if I choose wrong and ruin my life forever? Let me tell you this: careers are not prison sentences, okay? They are more like journeys. You can start in one direction and later discover something new. That's okay. Think about it. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't stick to one career forever. Did you know that Walt Disney, the creator of Disney, started out as a news artist, or that Oprah Winfrey began as a news reporter before becoming a talk show legend? Even in our everyday lives, people switch careers all the time. An accountant might later become a business consultant. A teacher might move into administration. A doctor might go into public health policy. The point is, your career choice today doesn't have to define your entire life. So instead of being paralyzed by fear, focus on making the best decision for where you are right now. And remember, every experience adds value to your journey, even if you change paths later. Let's take a moment to recap everything we have discussed. The 5 biggest mistakes students make when choosing a career are: choosing only for money, letting family or friends pressure them, ignoring their natural strengths, failing to do proper research, and believing that one choice locks them in forever. If you avoid these mistakes, you will already be miles ahead of many students who rush into decisions blindly. Now, I want you to think about your own situation. Which of these mistakes are you most likely to fall into? Are you choosing just for money? Or are you letting your parents decide for you? Or maybe you haven't done enough research yet? Be honest with yourself, because the earlier you notice it, the easier it is to fix. Before I end this video, let me leave you with this. Choosing a career is not about finding a perfect path. It's about finding a path that matches your passion, your strengths, and your values, and then being flexible enough to grow along the way. Don't let fear or pressure make the decision for you. And don't rush. Take your time, ask questions, and most importantly, trust yourself. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to hit the like button right now. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with someone who is still confused about their career path. Also, drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 mistakes surprised you the most. I would love to read your answers. Thank you for watching. I truly believe that If you avoid these mistakes, your future self will thank you for the decisions you make today. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, keep moving closer to your career that makes you happy. Bye bye.